All right.
All right.
Oh! That might have peaked right there. But
What?
guess what I learned?
What did you learn?
We're off like a herd of turtles in a rainstorm is a thing that has been passed down in my family for generations.
Oh my
really?
God.
I got the origin from my mom. She said that her dad always used to say it when they were going off on trips. And then she asked her dad where he got it from. And he said that his dad always used to say it when they were going off on road trips. So it's at least 3 generations back. That's the origin of that phrase that doesn't really make any sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So take that what you will. My family is weird, I guess.
So that is your winter is coming.
Yeah. No, that's basically the Schmitz family crest.
Okay.
Like, winter is coming. We do not sow. We are off like a herd of turtles in a rainstorm.
Yep.
So I
that's
imagine
the case.
that like your family crest would not just be like a single majestic turtle. It would be like a squad of baby turtles flopping around as it rains outside in a puddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As all the predators and the birds are swooping down trying to eat them before they make it to the ocean.
God.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm imagining. I don't know what else there is that you could possibly imagine if I'm being honest.
Hey, if there are any fan artists out there listening, turn this into a banner for the Voluntary Viewing Twitter account once Twitter fucking gets its shit together and reactivates that.
Yeah. And stalk all of our Facebooks so that you can get pictures and Photoshop our heads onto turtles
I'm cool with
that
it.
are being eaten. Yeah. Can't be that hard to find.
Our faces?
Whatever.
Didn't we put them in an Adventures of Brew video a while ago?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, God.
Which is, you understand that's an unrelated YouTube channel that we haven't talked about at all on this podcast, right?
I think I referenced a previous podcast saying that was a project that we had all worked on together.
Well, we need to
before.
put out a shameless plug, get some cross traffic, get all our voluntary viewing followers to view our proof videos.
Yeah, we still got to cut together Skyrim shot.
Oh,
God, I forgot we
wow.
still had those recordings.
Future podcasts or future content coming down the line for old Fourth Floor.
I have that audio somewhere, but I have no fucking clue where.
No, please don't tell me you lost it. We
No,
worked
I definitely
so hard.
have it. Like, it's on this laptop or my flash drive, but like, yeah, wow, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I have my audio. And now that you've taken a film class, you can probably do some really fun stuff with the video. And boom. That's our first viral video right there.
Fuck Elder Scrolls 6. Here's Skyrim shot.
I mean, Elder Scrolls 6 is what, 5 years away?
I'd say it's probably more like 3, but
There was a nice JPEG that they slowly panned through.
yep.
It'll be the first game to get delayed for the PlayStation 5.
Do you think it has
Yeah.
concept art yet?
I don't know. Probably not.
Jesus Christ.
Do they even know the setting, what the major conflict? I don't know if they have anything.
Well,
yet,
if we want to
I'm
make
honest.
this our first short E3 talking point, so
Let's start with news of the week.
hey, some analysis people at IGN, they looked at that one single photograph, and they are pretty sure that it's going to take place in High Point?
Hyrule?
Rock? No. It's
Hyrule.
it's wherever the Bretons are
Crossover.
from. Like there's Daggerfall and shit like that. And it's like a coastal, beautiful, mountainous area. So
Yeah, man. Everyone's favorite Elder Scrolls race, the Bretons.
Bretons.
Oh, God.
Everyone's forgotten Elder Scrolls race.
I mean,
Let's be honest.
do you really think they're like less known than the fucking Argonians, the lizard people?
Yes. Everyone knows about the lizard and the cat people because they're weird.
Dude, people jerk
The Bretons are just vanilla.
off to the lizard people.
Yeah, man.
Like, that's canonical in Skyrim, that people jerk off to lizard people porn.
Yeah, the lusty Argonian.
Yeah.
That's like a whole
The
thing.
lusty lizard or whatever.
Yeah. I think they call it the lusty Argonian, but yes.
Should I do the intro?
So,
That was the intro.
But no, like the yeah, not the cold open, but like the hello and welcome. Yeah.
I already did a header with it's news of the week. So I don't know. Do we have to like start over?
Yeah, I can play around with this and post a little bit. Okay.
Should I intro?
Or
did you have one planned?
I actually had a good one planned.
Okay.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Voluntary Viewing Podcast, the only podcast that's talking about E3 this week. We checked and no one else is talking about it. I am senior 22-year-old Lucas DeRuyter, and I'm joined by mid-tier 22-year-old Andrew Clark and rookie 22-year-old Ryan Holtz. Ryan, how does it feel to be 22?
Guys, I don't know about you, but I am feeling 22.
Roll the intro.
Everything will be alright if you keep me next to you. Yeah.
For those listening, I'm only making this joke because this is like the 1 week out of the year where the three of us are the same age.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought of that. I mean, Andrew's the one that is always shared with someone.
Oh yeah, you guys just split me between the two of you.
Yeah, Andrew never breaks free and becomes independent.
Just living in the shadow of the people who are also my age.
Andrew, what's it like being the cream in the Oreo?
Isn't that the best part?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The frosting is the best part. The cookies suck.
Isn't that like the forgotten middle child?
Andrew, how's it like to be like everyone's favorite thing?
It's like, oh god, Andrew is the contents of the sandwich, where Ryan and I are the bread, the cool parts.
Yeah. Dude, you're like the ice cream in an ice cream cone. Haha, loser. You're dumb and bad.
Yes. All right, let's just fucking get into it because we're doing this a little later than usual and we got a lot to talk about. Here's news of the week.
Insert trap remix.
Lucas, you know you're gonna have to edit that in now, right?
Could either of you actually tell me how would you describe the genre of music that is trap?
It's trap music.
Trap music is trap music, Lucas. If you don't get it, you're a square.
How would I have known if I heard a trap song?
You've heard a trap
Yeah,
song.
you absolutely have.
Okay.
If you've seen a DJ, you've heard a trap song.
Okay.
Like if you've seen a DJ on the street, even if he's not playing music, you've heard a trap song.
Jeez.
He radiates trap.
Yeah, trap is just a thing. It's an institution, not to be sullied by SpongeBob remixes.
Like you just suggested.
Yeah, no. Those are honestly my favorite parts of trap. So
Yeah, no, they're pretty good.
The non-legitimate trap where it's just people dicking around. That's the best parts.
Because it's not hard to make.
No, it actually sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
so how do we want to do this? Do we want to just do a lightning round, because we don't have enough time to talk about everything from E3 in depth.
We're gonna burn through. I know. We should have one person read and one person comment, and then move. Like just one read, one comment. Boom. Next.
Okay,
Right.
I'll read
Okay,
through it. Whenever you guys want to interject and say something, go for it. I have a couple things I want to talk about at length, but yeah, I think we got a good amount of bullet points on here, and then whenever something like is expanded upon, just go for it.
So
All right.
Lucas is the collection of players on the field. I'm the announcer, and Ryan is the color commentator.
Wow. Okay. A little bit of a demotion, I feel like.
Well,
for sure.
you can be the announcer if you want. I can comment on calling.
How about we're two opposing viewpoint talking heads that
Ooh.
have no idea what we're talking about, but we're kind of just riffing.
All right.
Andrew,
Time to be anyone who ever talked about video games.
Andrew, not to take a shot at you, but I think Ryan is infinitely closer to being a sports announcer than either of us will ever be.
I've
That's fair.
pretended to be a sports announcer since Madden 2005, which we talked about last time was 14 years ago. So, not 14 years, however long, 11 years? Who cares?
Okay. First up, EA, Battlefield 5. Anything more to say about?
First,
Oh, go ahead.
first, but also last, EA.
Wait, what?
Right? Am I right?
Oh, he's saying that EA had
Oh.
the worst showing.
Oh, I thought they had the worst
By far,
of
yeah.
anyone, if I'm
That's
being
very
honest.
fair.
So, yeah, I'm sure. I know that Andrew, you're a big fan of Battlefield 5, but like,
Well, I mean, like, I haven't played the
Ugh.
game yet. I'm very excited for it. I was a big fan of
yeah,
all Battlefield games, and then Battlefield 1 was up there for me. And yeah, I think Battlefield 5 looks really good. May not be appealing to everyone.
Any input on something interesting they could do with their Battle Royale stuff to make it different or better? Or is it just the same mechanics as capture the flag, except stay in the circle and don't die?
vehicles, man.
I think
I'm not an expert.
I think
but
it's going to be a little different, and I'm not saying that they're going to recreate the genre, because like it seems like nowadays every battle royale game has their own little shtick.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite is the building. I don't know. you know what I mean though. Like
every battle royale game.
every battle royale game is the same basic concept, but like with differences like there are between any video game. I think Battlefield 5 is just going to be battle royale, pretty standard. It's just going to feel and play a little bit different because you might get vehicles and you can probably like destroy structures, and they might have better squad play with like healing and shit like that. I don't know. But no one really knows anything about it yet, so I'm just waiting to see what happens.
And in the story mode, you play as a woman, which is...
Well, in one of the stories, they're doing the same little war story vignette things that they did with Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the stories, at least, you'll play as a woman.
That worked well
And that's
from
the one
last time,
they've
so that
shown
makes
so
sense.
far.
All right, next up we have Destiny, maybe a ripoff, Anthem. It's made by BioWare, but you can't kiss people in it, so who cares?
No, that's true.
Sounds about right.
That was my thoughts exactly, Lucas.
And then Jedi Fallen Order, which had a really weird announcement where the host of the EA press conference, Andrea Renee, who, terrific person, does terrific work otherwise, was kind of in a weird situation where she just walked up to the guy in the crowd, asked him if they were making a new Star Wars game, and he said yes.
That sounds like a slip of the tongue.
That was it?
Then she asked, will you be able to use lightsabers in it? And he also said yes to that.
It can't be a Star Wars game without lightsabers.
I'm sure there's been some out there.
Star Wars pit droids?
Is that a game?
Yeah, that was a game.
God.
It was like a puzzle game where you had to make the pit droids go into the hole.
Oh.
It was really tough.
Oh.
There weren't any lightsabers in that one, believe it or not.
Weird.
And then I think the only other information we have on that one is that it takes place between the third and fourth movies.
The best time in the Star Wars
Yeah.
universe.
It's not like we don't have a ton of material expanding on that already.
That's the thing, is that like a long time ago, they're like, oh yeah, people want to see some of this stuff and like what that is. And then people started, writing books and making video games and TV shows that take place during that time. And that's been 10 years, and since that 10-year period, they keep saying, like, we've never explored this time period.
Well, they can say that now because Disney made all the stuff that did explore that time period mostly not count anymore. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Decanonified. I just watched a new video before we get off Star Wars for the first time, called Troopers, which is a cops parody set in the Star Wars universe.
Wait, by College Humor?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It was made in 1997, I think, by just a bunch of random people. And it actually had like really recognizable voice talent that have done like a lot of stuff, which was really cool.
Oh, that sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. I've only seen like really low-res copies on YouTube that might be bootlegged, but it's really funny and pretty well made. And it kind of functions as a Lion King 1.5 with the stormtroopers in the very beginning of episode 4. So it's good.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Does Stephen Colbert voice half a dozen characters in Troopers?
No, he's not a very well-recognized voice actor in reality.
Well, then I don't give a
He
fuck.
doesn't have a lot of roles. And he never voices multiple characters in shows, so no.
I tried to make this more of a joke, but did not land. I'm sorry.
I tried to continue the joke. I tried to yes and, but it didn't really work.
No, it's
Did
okay.
Stephen Colbert voice 6 actors in that joke that you tried to tail, but failed at?
Tail?
Tail. I'm
I was trying to
tailing this
tail.
joke.
I was trying to tail a tail.
All right, Microsoft.
So Microsoft, they did pretty good this year. They had a lot of games finally.
Yeah, they kind of Sony and Microsoft kind of switched what their E3 presentation philosophy was. Usually Microsoft does a lot of not a lot of, like they have very few presentations and they're longer, and it's like gameplay, cinematics, and then not really a lot of talking involved. They just like show, whereas Sony would play a lot of video game clips and they'd be like, oh my god, look at all this shit that we have, and then like have people go up and talk. And they really did the opposite this year. Microsoft showed a lot of video games, showed a lot of clips, had a lot of talking points. Sony just showed a lot of trailers, like really long trailers. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the first big one of those was Halo Infinite, which I've never played a Halo game and can't really talk much about. Do you guys have any reactions to that?
Not particularly, no.
A lot of people,
Master Chief was in it.
yeah, a lot of people that I know that like Halo are very excited, but as we've said before in this podcast, most of us aren't really Xbox people, just through
It's kind of weird.
happenstance.
It's kind of weird that it's called Halo Infinite after Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's limited video game titles, but like those two were once the two titans of shooters, and now Halo goes and uses a very, very similar title. So
BioShock
I can't imagine that happening a while ago.
Infinite is in a corner like, but we did it first.
Yeah, that's different enough that I'll give them a pass.
A lot of people are speculating that the Infinite actually means that this is going to be like a games as a service type thing, more as like a Destiny where you play it on and off for a year and change at a time. But I think a lot of people are maybe speculating or talking out of their ass on that one. I don't think that's been confirmed to any capacity.
All right. We have a lot of games on this list now that I don't think any of us really have strong opinions about. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Devil May Cry 5,
I actually have...
Jump Force.
Wow, Andrew, way to just pull this out from under me. I actually have some opinions on Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Oh, okay. Tell us.
I'm excited for it being roughly halfway through Bloodborne right now. I'm really intrigued what FromSoft does with this seemingly little more grounded setting than some of their previous games, where they just don't have demons or monsters and shit running around. I'm conflicted that the character you play as has a fucking hookshot grappling gun arm. Because on the one hand, like a From game with much more fluid movement is very, very, very appealing to me. But on the other hand, a big thing I like about those games is how you and the enemies you're fighting kind of have the same toolkit. And if you just have a grappling hand and they don't, and that factors into combat at all, that might ruin that a little bit. But, yeah, I'm really excited for it. Glad they announced this instead of Bloodborne 2. I really hope Activision, being the publisher, doesn't fuck some stuff up. But, yeah, right now I'm optimistic.
All right.
Agreed.
Are you psyched about Jump Force because you're a weeaboo?
I actually have to turn in my weeb card. I am no longer a weeaboo, apparently, because I don't give a shit about this game.
Yeah.
It has a lot of markers of being a cash grab more than anything. None of the gameplay that I've seen has characters with any lines in it, which makes me think that it's more than likely going to be subtitles with Japanese voice actors, which I guess is fine, but it's kind of a marker of, to me at least, a game company deciding that, hey, we could go the extra mile, put out the extra money, and have all of these characters voiced by their pretty well established, already cast English voice actors. But we're not going to shell out the money for that.
Well,
Also,
I mean,
during... Oh, go
like
ahead.
you said, it's just a cash grab, you know? It's like, oh, did you guys ever wonder what would happen if Naruto fought Goku? No, you didn't? Well, here you go anyway.
Yeah, and they've said in press interviews that it's going to be a fighting game for beginners, which seems pretty coded language to me. And I actually wrote an article about this. Anybody listening who cares to check it out, it's going to be on Fandom. That the only way I could see myself picking up a copy of this game is if they just put fucking ridiculous characters that have appeared in this 50-year-old publication into this game. Like there's a Shonen Jump series that's just about a dog who has to get a pack of dogs together so they can go kill a bear that killed his father. I want that dog in this game. That would be awesome. And then also maybe One Punch Man. That'd be fun if they could put him in. But that's all I got.
Okay. I think
Andrew,
I
would
was
you...
I think I
ahead.
was the only one here that played Dying Light 2. Or
Well-
that played the original Dying Light. Did anyone else?
I think I watched a lot of a playthrough, but I never picked it up myself.
Okay.
Andrew, I watched a lot of your playthrough of it freshman year on the dorm TV.
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of that game when it came out. Would have been about 4 years ago now, almost 4 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. I knew that it was at its core concept, it was just another open world zombie game, but it was kind of like Dying Light, which I enjoyed even though I knew it was a garbage game. But it worked functionally well. And it did a lot of really cool stuff with movement and parkour and all that sort of stuff. And it didn't feel like a gimmick, like it actually really worked in the game. So even though the story wasn't great, the gameplay was great, the functions worked really well, and I'm kind of excited to see what they do. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up, but I definitely have it on my radar.
Did you know that like the current Dying Light that's out now has a battle royale mode?
Yeah, it came out a couple of weeks ago, or like a month
They're
or two
still
ago.
doing content for that 5-year-old
Yeah,
game.
It comes out, like, they'll do something every like 6 or 8 months. It's like kind of small. I don't think I've ever like taken part of those mini expansions. But yeah, there's like a I think there's like 6 players at a time, the Battle Royale mode, where it's like they drop you in and you have to go gather stuff from the zombies and then make it to the extraction point with like the most, zombie guts or whatever it is. And then you just kill each other if you can.
Or if it's beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is they announced a new Battletoads game, which would be cool if I or any of us were old enough to have been frustrated by the original Battletoads game. So I think that just gets a shout out and we're moving on. And then, I don't think Funhouse has yet to stop jerking off about the Cyberpunk 2077 announcement.
Yeah, man. It's a long time coming.
Yeah.
Cyberwatch.
Cyberwatch. I mean, like, I remember the trailer, or one of the trailers coming out for that game when I was in high school. And I was like, oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. I have no idea what it is because it's like barely a cinematic trailer. But it looks pretty fucking dope. And I kind of hope it is good.
I hear they're going for a pretty class-focused RPG thing, which I'm actually kind of interested in because I find that a lot of RPG games I play with like a class system are pretty class system light. Where, well, I'm going right to Fallout 4, but like you can put all of your stats into one thing, but then that doesn't negatively impact anything in the game whatsoever. So, I don't know. I think I'd be interested in a game that funnels you a bit more than what most of them do now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it looks sweet. It reminded me a lot of BioShock, which I enjoy. And so, I don't know. It could be fun. Could be garbage, but could be fun.
Anything at this point could be garbage.
No, that's the truth. It's been in development for a long time.
That's the problem when you have an entire 4-day event structured around what are functionally commercials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bethesda had some pretty
stuff.
good and then pretty bad commercials, though.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I don't know how you guys feel about the game Rage. I've never played it. I also don't know how you feel about Andrew WK. But even though I don't really give a shit about either of those things, I really enjoy that performance. Mostly because Andrew WK sounds so bad live.
Andrew,
oh my god.
Andrew WK walked up on that stage and gave a performance for himself alone, and it was glorious.
Yeah, God.
All the crowd reactions of just complete indifference.
Yeah, he's not giving a shit.
It's so good.
I'll give them
honestly, if I hadn't seen the trailer for Rage 2 that had come out before that with the Andrew WK song in there, I wouldn't have known who he was until he started playing.
Well, he did all the Team 4-Star. Well, Team 4-Star lifted a lot of his music for Hellsing Abridged, and I know you know that. But
yeah, no, like I've heard his music before, but I mean, like I have no idea. Like before this, I had no idea what he looked like because I just didn't care about him. I don't know anything about his performance style. I guess he sticks a microphone in his pants a lot and then just wails on a fucking keyboard.
I'm going to give the people in the audience the benefit of the doubt and that it was the end of a very long day and they were just like not expecting or able to get hyped up for that performance. But in my mind, what I immediately went to, what I thought they were thinking when the camera cut to their just indifferent and confused reactions was, what the hell? This isn't Cardi B or any of the 10 musicians currently popular right now that I know about. What's going on?
Yeah,
but
not wrong.
Was Andrew WK ever popular, though? Because a couple of months ago, I went to a Queens of the Stone Age concert in Milwaukee, and as I was leaving the concert hall at like 1 o'clock in the morning, they were handing out free tickets to Andrew WK the next week. They're like, you can come and see Andrew WK for free. They were shoving them in people's pockets as they walked out. They're just, please take these tickets.
I think he's a bigger niche kind of musician, but I don't know. He actually seems like a pretty terrific guy from the stuff I know of him outside of his work. So
He
good
seems like
for
a really upbeat, happy-go-lucky death metal keyboardist.
good for him getting a bunch of Bethesda's money.
You don't think he paid Bethesda to let him go out there?
Oh God, no. And actually, I'll go so far as to say that the only way I will play Rage 2 is if I find out the entire game was scored by Andrew WK.
That's fair.
Do we have any more ad lib we want to do for this?
No.
Do you guys have any opinions on Doom Eternal?
Oh,
No.
that was announced.
That's a dumb name. Do you guys care that the next Wolfenstein... I'm actually not sure if this is an expansion or if it's a new game, but it's going to be co-op only, and it'll be BJ Blazkowicz's teenage twin daughters.
Yeah, I think it's
That's
cool.
interesting.
It's a twist. I feel like Wolfenstein had been kind of not in a rut creatively, but you know what a Wolfenstein game was.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't go overboard innovating, it felt like, from the outside. So I'm curious. I like, it feels like when single player games go 2-player co-op, it tends to actually work a lot better than what our next topic might entail. We'll see.
Well, I feel like
So.
we're going to have an argument about this one.
Oh boy.
Wolfenstein
Is this
or
what
the
we're gonna
next
do
one?
today? Are we gonna fight?
Andrew,
Hope not.
Wolfenstein or the next one?
The next one.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move on to that. But before that, I'd just like to say that, excuse me, I actually appreciate that Bethesda took the opportunity talking about their new Wolfenstein game just to have like a minute and a half dedicated to fuck Nazis. That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such an easy position.
Yeah. I mean, like,
In all honesty.
Yeah,
it's like,
but
wow, they took
it's
a
such an easy way to
stance,
score
they drew a
points.
line in the sand.
fuck Nazis. Yeah. All right, you two fight about Fallout 76 now.
Yeah, this game's gonna suck.
Oh, this game's going to be great.
I don't know. We live watched the like re-released teaser, and then it turned out that there was like a bunch more stuff that came out later, a bunch of even gameplay and stuff like that.
Which was super weird because the beginning of the Bethesda, like when Bethesda's showcase did their Fallout 76 stuff, word for word, and including the trailer, it was exactly the same as the Microsoft presentation where Todd Howard went up there and gave his little spiel about Fallout 76. The first like 3 or 4 minutes was the exact same presentation. I thought I was watching a replay until they started showing all the next stuff. That was super weird for me. I think he may have been asked to do a personal favor.
Yeah. I was a little nervous watching it. People took note that there was no NPCs in the game other than robots, and even to the point of the overseer just being like a disembodied recording and not a character, which feels like it would have been in previous Fallout games, which then came to the point of there might be no quest givers, which then came to the point of like this might be a radically different Fallout experience than past entries, which obviously it will be, but then like even to the point of there not really being quests and it kind of following a more of a Destiny
Sea of
type
Thieves kind of idea.
gameplay. Yeah. Sea of Thieves on land
Yeah.
was one of my favorite tweets.
It's just thieves.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves on
So-
sea.
I was a little worried. I think it's good that there's an open beta that people will be able to play and will be able to get impressions of before purchasing.
About that, the beta is not open. The beta can only be accessed by a code that you get when you pre-order the game.
Yeah, no, I just mean like people will have played the
people
game
will be able to play
and
the game
posted
before it comes out.
gameplay and like
Okay.
their
Okay.
opinions of it and stuff. I'm not gonna pre-order it, but
No,
someone else
I'm
will,
not
and I will value their sacrifice.
Some Fallout.
Todd Howard, after the presentation, it seemed like there was going to be a robust leveling up system, and there were going to be story quests, and there was going to be a storyline. There are no human NPCs. There are robots that you find out in the wasteland, and that have to do with the vaults. And there are ghouls that populate the wasteland. Some are feral, some are just ghouls that you either interact with or fight. So there is going to be some sort of quest system. I have no idea how robust it's going to be. The worst case scenario, and this would be bad, is that, like we said, it's like a Sea of Thieves, that it seems fun and people enjoy it and you dick around with your friends, but then there's nothing to do and it's really repetitive. And so I hope the game doesn't turn out like that, but we'll have to wait until it launches. I'm a little more hopeful than it seems like Ryan is, but I totally understand the skepticism.
I think it's a little weird that a video game series that was largely about the horrors that occur after nuclear war or any substantial conflict now is putting out a game where you can just launch a nuke at somebody for fun. I find that a little weird and a bit of a tonal shift, but...
I mean, the other Fallout games had you use nuclear missiles multiple times, or like nuclear weapons. In Fallout 3, you destroy an entire town by setting off a nuke. In Fallout 4, you blow up, spoiler alert, you blow up the Institute with like a nuclear weapon, like a nuclear reactor meltdown. And at one point, you can use a submarine to like send nuclear missiles somewhere. So, I mean, they've definitely been in the games before.
That's fair, I guess.
Hey, not if you side with the Institute.
Hey.
Then there's no nuclear war at all, and everything's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is another time will tell. I just hope there's crossplay so that the three of us will be able to get like a solid faction settlement thing going and have fun with it that way.
There is almost no way in hell there is going to be crossplay on this.
No.
Just going to throw that out there.
It's not going to happen.
I see
it would be great.
A 3% chance.
It would be great if people could get along, but it's not going to happen.
Well, fuck. They announced Starfield, which is apparently the first new IP they're doing in like 20 years. And I'm a little burnt out on space games, but maybe it'll be good because we know almost nothing about it. And then they announced Elder Scrolls 6, which got more applause than the new IP that they're making. And we also know virtually nothing about that. Also, Todd Howard said fuck for what is probably the first time in his life, and that was just a weird conference that Bethesda did.
I would like to point out that everything that I predicted with Fallout 76 did happen. I said that they were going to announce the game and show a bunch of gameplay, basically explain everything that had to do with it, and that it was going to be released later this year. And that was all true. So bow down before your video game prophet.
I'm going to pick apart the last episode of the podcast and find a single point that you were wrong on, and then report back next episode.
It won't be hard.
So go ahead.
Did anyone else see the commercial for Skyrim Super Special Edition on Alexa and think that was just a joke making fun of themselves, but then it turned out to be entirely real?
Yeah.
That's
kind of cool.
I think everyone thought that.
I was like, oh, hey, they get it. They're making fun of themselves because they get that we have Skyrim fatigue. And they're like, nope, you can just talk to your Alexa and pretend you're playing a game.
Well, if I have an Alexa, that seemed like a fun thing to dick around with for maybe 2 hours. But, yeah. Oh, they also announced a mobile game, but also a VR game. Elder Scrolls Blades.
Yeah, that looks stupid.
Like the Blades were a faction in Skyrim, and they were like dragon hunters. Does this tie into that at all? Or
Well, I mean, like the Blades have a history in the Elder Scrolls games before Skyrim. They're just kind of like a shadowy organization that protects, like kind of like behind the scenes, protects the kingdom, and then like originally they fought dragons and that sort of shit. No idea if it actually ties into the lore of the game, but who cares?
yeah. All right, on to Square Enix, which I imagine I'm the only one who cares about any of this shit, and it was also one of the weaker conferences, so we're probably going to burn right through this. Octopath Traveler trailer. Fucking yes. Give it to me. Give it to me right the fuck now. I can't wait until July. Give me a version of that distilled down into a syringe full of liquid so I can inject it right into my veins. I want that Octopath Traveler high. Tomb Raider gameplay. Cool. The Quiet Man trailer, which was dumb, maybe a little racist, although it might be interesting to play a video game as a deaf character. I don't know. Babylon Falls, which is a new Platinum game that we know nothing about, but Platinum games have a history of being exactly as good as the source material that the dev studio is given. So we'll see. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff, which power to you if you give a shit about that. I don't think any of us do. Any of you guys want to weigh in?
No.
I wanted us to just stay silent until Lucas started talking again.
Anyway, moving on.
I found out that the term that Kingdom Hearts fans use when a character accepts darkness into their heart, which apparently makes them evil, is called getting Norded. Which, yeah, the character Aqua got Norded because she's evil now.
What is that?
And
Okay.
you shouldn't make fun of people or a fandom because they like something that's kind of juvenile, and just let people have fun with their stuff. But the Kingdom Hearts fandom is making it really easy to make fun of them right now, and I'm just kind of exhausted with the whole thing.
Video game fascist.
Me?
Yeah.
Why am I a video game fascist?
He's making fun of people for liking something. How dare you?
Well, apparently I got Norded, and that's why I'm a video game fascist now.
Don't yuck someone's yum, Lucas.
I will stop yucking their Nort. I'm sorry.
Or wouldn't that be Nording their yum? I don't know.
My yum is yucking other people's yum.
So Ubisoft showed some stuff. Donkey Kong Country DLC for Mario plus Rabbids, which was an actually pretty solid game that I think I got maybe halfway through and should probably go back to. Fox McCloud will be in the game Starlink, which I guess is a Toys to Life thing. There's a For Honor expansion that I think maybe 24 people care about, but I don't know. And then
that
Assassin's
game got
Creed.
Hyped up so much before it came out. I was excited about that game. I thought I was going to buy it. It got hyped up so much, and then a lot of people bought it, and I feel like only a few people kept playing after the first couple of weeks because it was too hard. It became very competitive.
You gonna jump in with a new expansion?
Absolutely not.
But when you kill a certain, when you're killed by a certain class of character, you reach up and grab her titties. That doesn't interest you at all?
Wait, really?
That was a whole controversy for about 2 weeks. They had an update that featured a new theatrical kill for one of the female characters, and It involved the person that was being killed reaching up, accidentally grabbing the female character's breasts, the female character getting upset, and then killing them. It was really, really dumb.
That does sound pretty dumb.
And super avoidable. But then we also have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was kind of spoiled by a Walmart keychain, but actually is maybe interesting to people who care about Assassin's Creed. And I know a lot of people are talking about it right now because you can play as either a male or female character and then have them flirt with any other gender of character totally fine. And people are jazzed about that.
Well, I think that, we've talked before in the past about the controversies that people have with, female soldiers in video games or, whatever. They think it's pandering or they think it's historically inaccurate. But I think this is the most historically accurate thing they could have done for ancient Greece. You can fight and kill people as a man or woman, and you can fuck just anyone you want. Like that. That's what Greece was like 2,000 years ago.
Have you guys... Well, and a lot of people are also digging that, like, there are actual consequential choices in this game. And then at certain points you can meet up with Socrates and he can just shit all over your decisions no matter what they were. Which I'm game for. But have you guys ever, like, met with or talked to somebody who actually went up to bat for the Assassin's Creed games? Like, really adamantly argued that they are the best series in video games?
Yeah, I have. I've met people
really?
like that. And I mean, like, it's a game series that a lot of people like.
I really, really liked up through Revelations. I feel like 3, it took a gargantuan downturn and then never really recovered.
3 is the only one that I've played.
3 is still better than some of the stuff that came afterwards. And I've heard that Black Flag is a really good boat game that happens to have to be an Assassin's Creed game.
I've played some of Black Flags, and I can tell you that, like, the piratey stuff, like, the ocean combat, really, really fun. I didn't really have any appeal after that, but...
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I will go to bat for Assassin's Creed 2 through Revelations. I didn't find the original all that appealing either.
Isn't that
Do you think you're ever going to pick up...
4 games.
Oh, okay.
2... Oh, wait, 3 games, you're right. 2 Brotherhood Revelations.
Okay.
The Ezio trilogy.
To me, they were always like a franchise that was in the background, and I never heard anybody really, like, try to convince me to pick them up. Do you think you'll play Odyssey once it comes to PC or not?
God, no. The series has also taken a complete turn. Like, it's not really like those
it's
old
an
games
RPG
anymore.
now.
With the most recent entry. So I'm assuming that Odyssey will be more similar to what's it called?
Origins.
I already forgot the title. Yeah, Origins. All I want to know is why the hell has there not been a ninja Assassin's Creed yet? Like, what is going on there?
It's like, oh, hey, do you want to be a ninja from every single culture on Earth except for Japan? The place where it actually kind of makes sense? Fuck you.
Yep.
They're saving that for the point when the franchise is just barely making enough money to keep going, and then they fucking whip the ninja dick on the table and say, yep, you're finally a ninja or samurai in Japan now. Congratulations. You finally brought it out of us.
I feel like you'd have to be a ninja fighting samurai because ninja is just so much more assassin and samurai is so much more
of a warrior.
Templar.
Yeah. All right. You guys want to talk about Sony? I feel like we got a lot to say on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I think we are definitely taking longer than we should. And so it's going to be really hard for me to kind of blow through Sony's presentation, but I'll try. We all saw the Last of Us trailer and gameplay, right?
Yep. Video games are gay now.
I love it. I mean, you guys know how much I love The Last of Us. I think this shows that it's going to be a very brutal, dark, gritty game just like The Last of Us. I love that you're gonna play as Ellie. The gameplay seems like it takes all the good stuff from the original game that I liked, and then throws in a lot of Uncharted 4 cinematic stuff. And I played Uncharted 4. It's a great game. It's beautiful and it plays like butter. And so I think it's going to add some fluidity into that. That'll be nice.
Andrew, is Ellie officially the deadliest lesbian in all of media?
I
feel like she's the
I don't
deadliest
know
lesbian
which
in
other
all of
deadly
media.
lesbians there are. Is there a list out there?
But no, she was fucking ridiculous in that trailer.
You mean like how brutal she was?
How brutal she was, how easily she killed a bunch of people, how after killing somebody and alerting other people, she would walk 3 feet into semi-tall grass and then just disappear from other people's perspectives.
Lucas, it's any game with stealth elements. That's how it works. That's how stealth video games have worked for 20 years.
How much of that trailer, not to be the pessimist again, when's the release date on 2? I forgot already.
I don't think they actually announced it.
Oh. So, that kind of plays into my point that I was so goddamn skeptical based on that gameplay, quote unquote.
Really?
Like that there's no way that was real. Like that
Really?
It was so ridiculously smooth. If they pulled off even half of that,
dude,
that would be one of the coolest games of all time. And judging by the first entry to the series, there's just no way that they're pulling that off.
Really?
No, I cannot imagine that wasn't just completely everythinged out.
Well,
like,
I mean, here's my take on it. I played The Last of Us, the original one, a lot. I've played the game probably 5 or 6 times through, and I think there were a lot of cinematic fighting kind of stuff that moved smoother than a lot of people gave it credit for. But also, the most recent game that Naughty Dog has put out is Uncharted 4 and then Uncharted Lost Legacy, or whatever it's called. Though, honestly, just the raw gameplay from Uncharted 4 looks very similar to that gameplay trailer that we saw for The Last of Us Part 2. I'm serious. Like, that's just how it looks. They've done a very good job at creating fight scenes like that. And it works. Like, I'm telling you, I think that was just straight gameplay on probably like a PS4 Pro. And sure, it was probably staged. Like, they probably, they didn't just have someone playing it live. But I really think that was almost entirely straight gameplay.
There's no way that the enemies weren't scripted in their movements. I can promise you that much.
Well, I mean,
like, I'm not going to argue that it wasn't
game.
gameplay, but
movements are scripted.
No, well, AI is supposed to adapt to surroundings and everything like that. If they don't even have a release date yet, there's no way that they've worked out their AI to the point that they can react that naturally to the situations around them. That has to have been scripted.
I don't agree.
Were Nadine and Joel gay in the Lost Legacy?
You mean
what?
Chloe?
Chloe, yeah, sorry.
Joel.
Nadine
Yeah,
and Chloe.
like,
I don't know Uncharted.
I actually never played The Lost Legacy. I know that Chloe is not gay. She's been in the other games. She's not gay.
Is Nadine, and did she successfully turn her?
I don't know, Lucas.
I need to know because Nadine might be the only lesbian in video games capable of taking on Ellie, and I need to know if that fan fiction is going to be a real thing.
Why are you focusing so much on them being lesbians?
Yeah, you're really
because Sony focused a lot on the
doubling down on this, and
lesbians.
it's making me uncomfortable.
I mean, they focused a lot on the romance subplot. I don't think they focused on the fact that it was a lesbian romance subplot, except for like one little mention at the beginning.
Like Ellie is canonically, not straight.
And it's awesome.
Is it awesome?
it's just
I
a
don't know. Like, it's kind of weird to me that it is so awesome.
I think it's
Like,
kind of
I
a
don't
big
know.
deal that like this major video game company, this beloved AAA franchise, they are opening right out of the gate at their biggest event of the year with this game you're going to play as
with
a
two
very
hot women
openly
making
gay
out,
woman.
How fucking
And that's
progressive.
great.
I didn't hear what you said,
I
Andrew.
said, yeah, they opened up with two hot women making out. How progressive.
I don't know. I just feel like I expect that out of companies, and I don't get excited when they do what just should be done.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, like, I'm all for
like,
inclusion in
congrats.
video games, and it makes me happy when there is inclusion. But, like, the big, like,
That's the baseline.
Ellie,
Inclusion should be a
You're right.
thing.
Ellie is a great character in video games, and it's not because she's a lesbian.
Fair, but I'm just happy, and I think we should celebrate that this is a pretty big step towards what should be the norm.
Okay.
But speaking of games with maybe iffy combat and mechanics, Ghost of Tsushima, which seemed pretty cool from the trailer, but also I know in actual gameplay is going to have some of that very prettiness covered up by UI and other prompts. So
I didn't even think the combat seemed all that interesting. It didn't seem bad. It looked very pretty. But to me, the combat looked pretty much like any Assassin's Creed game. You know? Maybe this is the Assassin's Creed ninja game that we've wanted.
maybe. Hopefully. And then next up, Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I guess I'm a little excited for. I've heard a bunch of people say that it is the best one, so
I've heard that too.
do you think you'll pick it up after playing through RE7?
Well, I watched some gameplay of Resident Evil 2 Remake. They had a pretty long demo that some people played through, and it seems like they, it's not just like a remastered version of the game. It's like a remake, a complete remake, and that it's a third-person shooter that takes a lot of the same UI from Resident Evil 7, if that makes sense. Like the inventory system and a lot of the sounds are the same. But at least in the demo that they showed, it did not look very smooth. It was really clunky. Like, this was their presentation, and there was a lot of just missing shots and, like, running into walls and, like, not turning around the right way and getting stuck.
Oh,
Like,
boy.
It looked like it had a lot of problems.
Maybe I'll wait until reviews to pick up a copy of that.
I mean, like,
but then-
it still looked good, but
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Nihon 2, which I hear a lot of people like that game. Good for them. We got another Death Stranding trailer with a little bit of gameplay this time, and really wish we would have gotten a release date or more gameplay, but I'm still super psyched for Norman Reedus and his Funky Fetus adventure.
His Funky Fetus adventure.
Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus.
Is that the new name a thing to Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Something in the Funky Fetus?
Andrew Clark and the Funky Narc. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I really liked the trailer. I thought the gameplay looked really beautiful. What?
No, sorry. Sorry, I thought of a better one.
Bring it.
Lucas DeRider, who's all up inside her.
Hey!
Oh no. Why?
Ryan.
That's not even following the formula. That's all I could think of.
Ryan, why couldn't we have gone to the same high school together and you come up with that sophomore year?
Yeah, because
Yeah, that would have been great.
Instead of all up inside her, Lucas was known as Big D Ryder or just Big Dick Ryder.
Big D Rider sounds a lot better than Big Dick Rider.
Well, and that's what they realized after like a month, and then,
Yeah.
oh, hey, we're not actually making fun of him.
Yeah, it sounds like they're saying that you have a big D instead of you ride Big D.
Yeah, like we have to clarify.
Yeah.
Our high school needed more creative writing courses.
Just to clarify, we're calling you a dick rider. You're not someone with a big D.
Those aren't mutually exclusive, guys, but okay.
Anyway, I like the Death Stranding trailer, and the gameplay looked pretty good. I'm not sure how much of that was what it would actually look like to play the game, or if that was taking gameplay and giving it like a cinematic camera angle. But it looked like there was going to be a lot of like exploration and travel and beautiful scenery, so I think that seems pretty fun.
This game is definitely going to have a tone, and I'm super on board for it. As to how good the actual narrative or the writing is, I'm not sure. I have a lot of faith in Kojima. I like all of his shit, but I mean, at this point, I kind of want to go into a cryogenic tube and freeze myself until the PlayStation 5 is out and I can finally play this game.
Oh, you think it won't even come out on PS4?
I am almost convinced that at this point it's going to be a launch title for the PlayStation 5. Or maybe do the Last of Us thing where it comes out at the very, very end, and then as that game is being released or as that game is being finished, they're simultaneously working on the upscaling for the for like the next generation release.
Okay. I can see that happening.
No. Then we also got some Spider-Man stuff, which people are jazzed about, but I don't really have it in me to get super stoked about a licensed Spider-Man game, so all right.
Ryan, you said you were pretty excited for Spider-Man, right?
Maybe? It sounds like something I might have said. I don't know. It looks fine. I was a little less excited than when it was kind of more conceptual.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I was just thinking, wow, look, there's been a generation shift. Like, the technology is going to make all this so much better. And now I'm like, yeah, it looks playable.
Okay.
How many kids do you think are going to pick up this game, realize after half an hour that this isn't the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and never touch the game again?
Oh,
I'd be fine with him becoming the
they'll think it's
de facto
MCU
Spider-Man.
Yeah, they'll think it's MCU Spider-Man, realize it's not, and then be upset with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with him being the de facto Spider-Man that everyone wants and accepts. That's cool with me.
Tom Holland's good when he's given enough material to work with, yeah.
He can do backflips.
So can like half a dozen frat guys at a party, but
he can make.
I don't think
he can make.
I don't think you've seen Tom Holland do backflips. If you think that half a dozen frat guys can do what he can do,
that's fair.
That dude is Spider-Man.
I have not see it.
He can make millions of people in movie theaters weep,
including my mother.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. You guys should also watch his lip sync battle, where he does Umbrella by Rihanna.
Okay.
And let's just say I always think that lip sync battles are really pretentious and kind of dumb, but good God. I'll send a link after the episode.
Beautiful. And then after the main press conference, we got an announcement that FromSoft is making a VR game called, and I'm about to butcher this, Dicing? I don't know. And I'm a little skeptical because the thing about FromSoft games is that none of them really look bad, but the way they look good is everything has a really cool design, if not necessarily in high fidelity, which VR games kind of sell themselves on. Here's the most pristine graphics possible. So I don't know if this will pan out or not, but
I don't think that's what VR games are like at all. What? VR games
really?
More times out of not look like literal bloody asshole. Are you kidding me? VR games look terrible.
There's some that are better than others.
Yeah, obviously
you might
there's
be
some that
generalizing
are not bad,
a little.
but almost all VR games look like if you just took a regular game and then rewind the clock 15 fucking years.
You're saying Nintendo 64 graphics on these games?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen like some of the games that like people actually play that are popular on, like VR? Like the one game, I think it's called Standout or Stand Point or some shit like that. It's basically like a straight PUBG ripoff, but in VR. It looks terrible, and PUBG isn't like a graphically great game in the first place. Fallout 4 VR and Skyrim VR look so much worse than the original games.
I don't know if Skyrim VR looks that much worse than the original.
It does. It looks worse than like the PS3 version of the game.
Oh, okay.
But the PS3 version of the game is the original game.
Yeah,
so that's what
I'm
you
saying.
should be
Yeah,
comparing.
the original game that came out like 6 years ago. It looks worse than that.
All right, and then on to Nintendo. This one's going to be rather quick up until the end. Demon Ex Machina, which, okay, mechs killing demons, cool. Something about Xenoblade, which, good for you if you're one of half a dozen people to care about that. Super Mario Party, which is probably going to make more money than it should. Fire Emblem Three Houses in spring 2019, which I'm excited for, but if it's coming in spring 2019, wish they had more to show off than what they did. Fortnite coming to Switch, which everybody knew, and it's shitty that people are now finding out they can't transfer their PlayStation Epic accounts onto the Switch. Fuck you, Sony, for that one. Hollow Knight on Switch, which is pretty cool. More Octopath Traveler stuff, and now I have a demo I get to play. And then fucking Sakurai walked into that Nintendo Direct, whipped his dick on the table, and just made everybody weep with the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate news.
Did you find a way to mention Octopath Traveler twice?
Yes!
He did.
That's what I just realized.
And I don't give a shit about that game.
You're missing out. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, every character that's ever been in Super Smash Bros. And playable is in this game, with some tweaks and upgrades to hopefully make them better and the game more competitive regardless of character. They introduced Daisy as what they called an Echo Fighter, but really it's kind of a clone for Peach, which means she's going to play almost exactly the same, but with one or two minor mechanical tweaks. And then they also announced that the Inklings are going to be in this game, as well as Ridley from Metroid, which people have wanted for forever. So good for you, Smashers.
Is it going to be 16-player Smash?
That is going to be in there.
Oh, I was making a joke. Is that seriously?
Oh, no,
16-player?
8-player it caps out at.
Yeah. No, that's what I was joking about, is that it's going to keep doubling until it becomes like 1024. Yeah. So it's going to become 16, and eventually it'll become like 1024, like just doubling every time. And it'll be great.
I want to know exactly how much money Nintendo had to play Konami to get Solid Snake in this game. 'Cause I haven't heard anything, but I imagine they were dicks about it. Also, they made Samus flatter and more muscular, which is awesome. But they also made Solid Snake's butt flatter, which is a travesty, and we will not stand for this.
Wait, I don't get it.
So Solid Snake, really, really cool dude, really, really buff. He's a sexual man. He has a great ass. He had a great ass in Super Smash Bros. 3, where he first appeared. Wasn't in the fourth one, but in this new one, he has an exceptionally flat ass, which, not okay.
How many of those asses
But,
did
like,
Stephen Colbert voice?
I'm just saying, you're like making a joke, right? Like,
No,
I'm so
people,
confused.
I and other people are genuinely upset about this.
Why are you generally upset about that when you're not upset about the Samus thing?
Well, no, because it makes sense that Samus was more muscular and less busty. But Solid
Why?
Snake canonically, what do you mean?
I don't get your logic. I don't get the reasoning.
Well,
It's like you're conflating these two things, and I don't understand.
well, because
I thought you were just making a joke.
well, because in the previous game they gave her like unnecessarily large breasts and kind of noodle arms, which isn't really appropriate for a character that's a kick-ass space bounty hunter. And then Solid Snake, who canonically has a phenomenal ass. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is taking that away from him, and that's not good.
When was the canon established?
1989, I think is when
If
Metal
I
Gear
look
came
up
out.
1989 Solid Snake,
Well,
he's gonna have a great ass.
1989 Solid Snake is a bunch of fucking pixels.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of pixels. There's no way that's when it was established.
But it's mentioned within the context of the game that he has a great ass.
I'm sure that Samus had unreasonably whatever prior to Smash Bros, the most recent edition. Maybe I'm wrong.
Is it so wrong of me that I'm happy that this female character is no longer being super sexualized, while also being upset that this male character is being undersexualized?
Is it just under-sexualized
kinda
or just
wrong.
not sexualized?
It's kind of wrong of you, I feel
Yeah.
like. If you're not making a joke, like if you're making a joke, haha, yeah, I get it. It's funny. It's funny to reverse the outrage, but
I guess this is more of a joke than anything. I'm not genuinely going to die on this hill, but on
Okay.
some level, it is a little upsetting that, like, come on, give this man his ass back.
I guess.
I think that wraps it up for our E3 presentation, which has taken a very, very long time. Do we want to talk about anything in movies or TV this week?
Did you guys see anything this weekend?
I did not. I know people that went and saw Incredibles 2. I was hoping maybe you guys did.
I did.
How was it?
It was good. It was a lot funnier than the first one, than the original. Plot mirrored one, which was a little disappointing, but, you know, what can you really do? There's a lot of really funny moments, some really, really awesome action sequences. Totally deserves a watch, but, you know.
Does it still have maybe like the same problem that I felt the first one kind of did, where kind of a reading of it was that everybody just needs to like get out of the way and let the special people handle their shit?
No.
No? Okay.
That wasn't exactly the reading that I got from the first one, but I guess I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Maybe a little Randian. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like maybe the same people that are making that argument. No, I'm not even going to go there.
Well-
It's dumb. That would be pointless.
Okay, fair enough. We're in the
I also
breakouts,
saw,
by the way.
Oh, yeah, breakout. Blah, 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 blah. Are we in the breakouts? Or are we in film? No, whatever. Who
Yeah,
cares?
we're in the breakouts.
I also saw Won't You Be My Neighbor, the Mr. Rogers
I
documentary.
hear that's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I don't
It's sad.
ever remember growing up with Mr. Rogers, but I hear everybody who did is just openly weeping in the theater during that movie.
I never,
Yeah, I
I
grew
never
up
really
with them.
watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but yeah.
No. You guys missed out.
I'm sure I did.
You'll probably still enjoy the movie if you give it a look-see.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Call of Duty movie that is in the works is reportedly going to be part of a grander cinematic universe of Call of Duty movies, and the director swears that it is actually a real movie that is happening.
Is it going to be based on any of the existing source
Don't know.
material? Because, like, at what point is it just a war movie?
That's. I mean, unless you make like a Modern Warfare or a Black Ops movie, it's just any war movie.
Yeah, it's just a new war movie. Like, I don't get where it becomes Call of Duty. Unless they have, like, press F to pay respects.
Maybe they do something like they did with that one movie, Hardcore Henry, where a lot of it's in really well done first person, but yeah.
Would that be a Call of Duty movie, though? Like, or would that just be another Hardcore Henry type movie?
Well, because all of the Call of Duty games are in first person. I don't know.
So are half of video games.
Yeah, a lot of first person video games.
I don't know how any of the video gaminess of the Call of Duty series translates into film in a way that'd be fun or interesting, but yeah.
Probably it won't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have faith for it. I just don't understand how it's a Call of Duty movie without that.
Then it's just Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers will be better than anything that comes out of a Call of Duty movie. Yeah. Like, that is one of the best pieces of media ever made. Like, I don't think they can really look at that as inspiration.
Do we want to get into the breakouts?
We're already in the breakouts.
Already there, and then we went backwards.
We did the breakouts.
Okay.
We
kind of went there, and then we went back with Call of Duty.
Okay.
Andrew, what are you watching?
I wanted to talk about just briefly this last season of Archer and the series as a whole. Did you guys even read the planning document?
I did.
I also find it weird that you put Archer in breakouts when you know I'm also watching it, which would make it fall into group chat, but okay.
Is that what group chat is?
Yes! What?
Andrew's ripping on us about the planning document.
What did you...
He's categorizing, he's jumping all around.
We're not all watching Archer. I know that Ryan isn't watching it. Oh, Jesus. Let's just say fireworks.
Father's Day fireworks.
But yeah, like this last season of Archer was kind of confusing for me because I really enjoyed the first couple of episodes, and the last couple of episodes, it was me laughing a lot, but not really liking where they were going. And I mentioned it before, it didn't really feel like the storyline was paced very well after the first couple of episodes. It didn't really even have an ending. They had so many loose ends that just never concluded. And it ended with, I mean, like, spoiler alert, like, it ended with Archer dying before anything got concluded, and then it literally just starting up a new, different storyline in space for, like, the last minute of the episode, and then the season ending. And there's at least one more season after this. But at some point, they have to address, Archer being in the coma, or if he's going to wake up, or something. But yeah, like, it didn't really feel like anything in the last couple of episodes made sense. There was no concluded storyline. It didn't really work. There's a lot of, like, one-off jokes that basically took up entire episodes. Like, one episode was essentially just Archer making fun of the idea of, like, training montages.
So I want to ask a legitimate question of you that's not meant to make you angry. Do you actually care about the overarching narrative of Archer at this point?
Well, not really. Other than that, like, whatever is happening in the show, to me, should make sense. I mean, like, there are characters in Archer that I care about, and they haven't been who they are in the show for 2 seasons. And at least with Archer Dreamland, which I really enjoyed, I really like Archer Dreamland, that made sense in terms of the storyline, because it said, oh yeah, he's in a coma and he's having a dream, and he sort of rearranged everyone in his life into a different narrative in his head. Archer Danger Island just started out in Danger Island and didn't explain anything. And we knew as an audience what was going on, but they didn't give us any sort of reason to care what was happening. I don't know. It really rubbed me the wrong way, like how they're handling this series, like with the storyline that's ended. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little nitpicky.
I guess my kind of reaction to it was this one had maybe some of the best premises the show has seen so far, with some of the worst executions.
Yeah.
I think this could have been a really interesting setting, and that never really panned out. I fucking love that they made Krieger a parrot named Crackers, but even that I felt was kind of underutilized. So for me, it pretty much boils.
The character as a whole was, barely mattered in the show at all.
Yeah, but there were a couple jokes about that I thought were pretty good, but there could have been more of them. So for me, I think the entire season boils down to, well, it definitely did have peaks. They weren't as high as the previous season, and just at an average was lower than the previous one. I still think, and I imagine this is to your dissent, that this season was better than the past maybe 2 or 3 seasons before Archer went into the coma. But that's where I'm at personally.
I think my opinion on like the different seasons was that Archer Vice was really good. I think Archer Vice may be my favorite season of the show. The season in between Archer Vice and then like when he's a private eye, the one where they're back to just being spies, except it's for the CIA. I think that season really didn't work very well. Archer Private Eye, I think, was, for the most part, pretty bad, but had enough really, really good moments to kind of make up for the bad. Archer Dreamland, I think, was really good, and then Archer Danger Island started off really strong and kind of floundered.
And I guess, Ryan, to your point, I'm not super emotionally invested in any single character, but I have gotten a lot out of the show as a whole. And I think that the only way that they can give it the ending that I want and maybe the ending that I deserve is to have Archer come out of the coma and spend a couple of episodes at least dealing with the repercussions of being in a coma for X amount of time and not seeing or keeping up with any of the people you're close with for however long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I think if I were a fan of the series, I would definitely question how much it matters at this point.
Yeah.
But I hear what you guys are saying.
Well, that's the thing.
I wish you the best.
Is that like
Thank you.
The past couple of seasons have made it where it doesn't really matter, and that makes me kind of angry.
Yeah.
Because like this show is still a show that I really enjoy, and I've enjoyed it for a long time. It's just they're not giving you a reason to care about it. Other than that, you're going to laugh when you watch it. And there's going to be a lot of really great jokes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I watched anything by myself or that overlapped with you guys. Since I guess Breakout and Group Chat is just kind of blurring together now, which is fine. But I can't really offhand. I was busy moving, and that took up a lot of my time.
Yep. Life is busy.
You guys watch Redline, watch any more of the breakdowns, or play any more of The Last of Us?
I have not watched Redline, but I'm most of the way through the cut downs.
Yeah, I'm steadily working my way through Last of Us. Haven't watched Redline yet. Next week is the deadline, so Redline will be before the deadline for me.
Hey.
Same. Oh, Ryan, we should work something out so that we one of us can buy it and the other one can just share the account for that day. Or rent it, I mean. But
it's $2.
Okay.
Wow.
And
Mr. Moneybags over here.
and,
Acting like $2 isn't anything.
and I prefaced like, hey, this is what I think is a pretty good movie. Didn't get anywhere close to the amount of money it needed to make to get in to make a profit. So, yeah, please buy this movie instead of pirating it.
Oh.
And you just shit all over that.
It's good to be a gangster.
Somebody watched Deadpool too.
I have seen Deadpool.
All right, to close this thing out, giving video games reviews with a score on a scale of 1 to 10, or I guess technically 0 to 10 too. I don't know. Pretty stupid, but for EA, which is a bunch of commercials about video games, I think that we can rate on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you guys give this year's E3?
Like the presentation as a whole, the 4-day conference?
Yes, the entire conference.
I'm going to go with 5 because it was just whatever.
So literally unplayable. Okay.
Oh, what? Oh, are we using games journalist scales?
Otherwise known as like academic scale.
I guess. Then 8. Because fine.
Okay, BC. That'll make you lose your scholarship, but okay.
I'll
Middle of the road.
I'll give it a 7 because while there were a lot of, really good things, just like any E3, there's going to be plenty of things that you really enjoy. The majority of things that they showed are just games that I don't have the time to care about. So that's just a consequence of it being a 4-day show of packing hours and hours and hours of gameplay trailers and video game news. Most of it I'm not going to care about, but a lot of great stuff in between, so 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10, but in a physics class or an economics class.
So curved up to like a 7.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
America has a great education system. So some stuff that I was excited about, some stuff I was let down by. It was whatever. Why wasn't there anything about Final Fantasy VII Remake in there?
Whatever.
Why wasn't there any Metroid Prime 4?
Whatever.
Why doesn't The Last of Us 2 have a release date yet?
Whatever.
Andrew will forgive.
Literally the game I'm most excited about in the fucking world. I'll give it a pass.
Why isn't Fallout 76 basically just Fallout 3 or 4 with multiplayer?
No matter how well that game sells, it would have sold better if it was a Fallout 3 or a Fallout New Vegas remake.
Yeah. Can you imagine, though, if it was just multiplayer core Fallout game?
That'd be pretty insane.
I would legitimately consider buying a PS4 just so that I could play that with you guys. Like, that shit would be so fucking awesome.
I mean, there are mods out there for that.
Very, very unstable.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that'll be one of the first big Patreon things we do. Hey, if you give us $20 a month, here's an invitation to the exclusive Voluntary Viewing Fallout 76 server.
I don't think that... Oh, yeah, they did say there would be private servers, didn't they?
Yeah.
They also said the servers are only going to be like 12 plus people, so...
And that's why it's the $50 tier.
Is it a $50 game?
Wasn't it 20?
And that's why it's the $80 tier.
How much does the game cost?
But it's going to be a full price game. It's going to be like $60.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, I haven't read anything to the contrary.
Okay.
You heard it here first. For just $120, you can be invited.
Yeah.
Do you want to nuke us in a video game? You want to take
$150, that's all you need.
You want to take all our hard work and effort and just destroy it? You monster.
I think that's what they want.
Be a monster for $180.
Follow, give us free stuff. All right. I'm Andrew.
Go on. You're Andrew.
I thought we were closing out.
Is there any more to you as a person, or
You
is that just kind of
monsters.
encapsulate it?
You monsters, you made me go through that.
Absolute savage.
I'm disappointed in you, Andrew. That's who I am.
Okay.
Ryan,
I'm
what was that one more time? You cut out a little bit.
definitely gonna get worse and worse.
How? How does it get worse than that?
Oh, Andrew. Oh, my sweet summer child.
He's Andrew. He's Blibby. And I'm Lucas. And thank you for tuning in to the E3 podcast that we recorded on June 17th. Get that date in at the very end. The worst place for it, but still getting it in there.
Burn it right in there. Signing off.